Welcome back to Stroke of Luck, where the glue is strong and the paint water is probably coffee. Today, we're cracking open one of the big boys, the Redemptor Dreadnought. It's like if a toaster got possessed by a really angry space marine and decided to become a tank. Classic Games Workshop packaging, sleek, shiny, and almost too nice to tear open. Almost. Cracking open the box, we're greeted by a bouquet of sprues. Nothing smells quite like fresh plastic and impending hobby backlog. Once I started looking at the instructions, I was definitely a little bit intimidated. This thing is next level compared to any Space Marine, but don't let that discourage you. This kit also comes with some transfers. Again, no Blood Angels transfers. Bro, give me a crumb of Blood Angels transfers, Games Workshop. Please, I'm begging you. Building this lad is an adventure, somewhere between the Lego set and a Mechanicus ritual. Once I started putting this together, it felt like a big chore at first. That being said, once I was in my groove, it was honestly one of the most enjoyable builds I've had. Now sit back and enjoy this time lapse, along with an important PSA regarding the legs. It felt really rewarding once I got through each section and it started coming together. Just remember, kids, dry fit everything. Otherwise, your Dreadnought might end up T-posing on the battlefield like some kind of meme. Honestly though, the Redemptor has great details with solid connections for the most part. I will say it is a bit of a learning curve if you're new to GW kits, but seriously, do not be intimidated by this thing. If I can do it, I promise you, you can do it. At this point, he's basically just a really angry Roomba. Now when you're building this model, you're going to get to a section with the legs where you need to be very careful with what you're doing. The little prongs need to be in place before you push the glued leg bits together. And if you're the type of person who likes to skip around like me and look ahead for things, full stop right there, because if you don't follow the instructions, section for section, you're going to end up with some wonky ass looking legs and everyone's going to be making fun of you. You also need to make sure that you have your pose set, because when you're gluing the legs and the toes, the pose is going to be locked in. I'm going to be posing mine with his leg perched up on a cork rock, so I'm making sure that his toes have a bit of gripping pose to them. Another awesome feature of this model is the posability of every freaking finger on his power fist. I was tempted to pose mine flipping the bird, but the intrusive thoughts did not win today. And here he is, fully assembled and ready to punch heretics in the face with his fist the size of a dire wolf. No base decorations, but hey, that's just more room for you to flex your basing skills, which I have little. Alright, let's talk about the Redemptor. Pros, cons, and how many bits I lost to the warp. The pros are he's chunky, detailed, he feels like you're building a relic from the dark age of technology. Another pro is his posability. You can make him look like he's charging, like he's aiming, or just like he's really disappointed in your dice rolls. It's really up to you. The weapon options are solid. Plasma Incinerator for toasting traders, or the Heavy Onslaught for when you're out of patience. I will mention some of the cons though. Some of the joints are tighter than a Black Templar at a Xenos diplomacy meeting. That being said, some of the joints are also loose as well. Once I got them together, the arms were a little bit floppy, but if that's a really big issue to you, you can always glue them in place. It's completely up to you. Some of the instructions are kind of vague. I feel like it would have been helpful if they mentioned the fact that you need to get in pose before you start gluing some of the leg bits. I'm sure some people have made that mistake and gotten to the part where they wanted to base him and realized they're stuck in a very shitty pose. Definitely have a solid idea of what you're going for before you start building this thing. I would recommend doing the base first and then building his pose on your near finished base. With the cons, I am going to have to give this kit build an overall 8 out of 10. That being said, this is probably one of my favorite models I've built in my life. If you have an army that can run one, it's an absolute must-have, and in my opinion, it's the most badass Dreadnought in the game. The movable parts, as poorly executed as they are cool as shit, and I know a lot of people glue theirs in, but it's still a nice feature. So there you have it, the Redemptor Dreadnought. An absolute unit, perfect for adding some beef to your Ultramarines, or if you're spicy, shoving it into a Deathwatch list and pretending it's totally balanced. I have mine stuck together in the middle by blue tack, and I'm planning on painting mine in 2 sub-assemblies just to make my life a little bit easier, so yeah, he's got a bit of a gangsta lean going on right now. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button like it's a Chaos Lord on one wound, and subscribe for more builds, paint jobs, and questionable hobby decisions. And as always, thank you for watching.